Good morning, students. I am Manisha Kumari, TGT Science, KV Gopalpur Military Station. Today, we will discuss about chapter 1 of class 7 science, that is nutrition in plants. So, how plants take their nutrition, we will discuss about this thing in this chapter. So first of all, we will discuss about what are nutrients and what is nutrition. Then we will discuss nutrition in plants. So first of all, what are nutrients? Nutrients are actually the components of food. These are the components of food like carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals. These all things are called nutrients. It means the diet you take contain nutrients. The diet you take daily contain nutrients. It may contain either one of these nutrients or more than. It means one food contain even a single nutrient or more than one nutrient. Okay. So there are components of food. What are nutrients? These are the components, specific components which are present in your diet. These are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals. These all are called nutrients. So these nutrients are very helpful for living organisms. Like if you people know, when we drive vehicle, जब आप किसी vehicle को चलाते हो, when we run any vehicle, it needs fuel. In same way, our body, living organisms body need nutrients for performing different functions. So nutrients help living organisms in different function, in performing different function. Number one of these function is to build their bodies. It means all the living organisms build up their bodies with the help of nutrients. Second thing, as you people know, you are growing day by day. You people are growing day by day. It means for the growth of the organisms, all the living organisms, all plants and all animals require nutrients. Is it clear? Number three function of nutrients is when there is any damage in your body parts or in the body parts of any living organism, these damages are repaired by the help of nutrients. It means nutrients also repair the damages in the body. And next and important point is nutrients provide the energy to carry out different life processes. It means in your different body, different metabolic reactions take place, and for those metabolic reactions, though different life processes, energy is given by the nutrients. It means nutrients provide energy for different life processes. So here we discussed four main functions of nutrients. Number one of these function, nutrients build their living organisms build their bodies with the help of nutrients. Nutrients help the living organisms to grow. Nutrients help to repair the damaged parts of their bodies. And next function, different living organisms carry out different life processes, and those life processes are carried out with the help of nutrients. Is it clear? One more term related to nutrient we will discuss in this chapter, that is nutrition. So nutrient and nutrition, both of these terms are related, but they are somewhat different. The definition of both of these things are different. Nutrients are actually the components of food. Nutrients are actually the components of food, but nutrition is different thing. So what is nutrition? Nutrition is the mode of taking food by an organism and its utilization in the body. It means how the organism take food, by which mode they take food, and how they utilize it in their body. This the branch which will study about this is nutrition. So nutrition is the mode of taking food by an organism and its utilization in the body is called nutrition. Next is modes of nutrition. So here we discuss about nutrition in plants. So before that we will discuss modes of nutrition. So overall, in all the living organisms, there are mainly the two modes of nutrition. There are mainly the two modes of nutrition in living organisms. They are either autotrophic nutrition or heterotrophic nutrition. It means these two types of nutrition are autotrophic nutrition and hetero. Auto, self, hetero, another. Autotrophic nutrition is the nutrition in which living organisms synthesize their own food. They prepare their own food. It means any living organism, any living thing which synthesize their food on by own. The type of nutrition present there is autotrophic nutrition, and those organisms are known as autotrophs. It means in those organisms where autotrophic nutrition is there, those organisms are known as autotrophs. So in autotrophic nutrition, what is autotrophic nutrition? Is the nutrition in which organisms synthesize their own food. Okay, and those organisms in which this type of nutrition is present, those are known as autotrophs. उन organisms को क्या बोला जाता है बच्चे? Autotrophs बोला जाता है. Is it clear? Heterotrophic nutrition is a nutrition where organisms don't synthesize their own food, but they get their food directly or indirectly from plants. It means in heterotrophic mode of nutrition, those organisms don't synthesize their own food. वो अपना खाना खुद नहीं बना सकते. They are dependent on डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली ऑन प्लांट्स फॉर न्यूट्रिशन. वो अपना खाना या तो डायरेक्टली प्लांट से लेते हैं, प्लांट या प्लांट प्रोडक्ट को खा के, या किसी ऐसे ऑर्गेनिज्म को ईट करते हैं जो किसी प्लांट या प्लांट प्रोडक्ट को खा रहा है. इसका मतलब वो या तो डायरेक्टली प्लांट को खा रहे हैं या इनडायरेक्टली प्लांट से खाना ले रहे हैं, क्योंकि वो उस ऑर्गेनिज्म को खा रहे हैं जो प्लांट को खा रहा है. Is it clear? And those organisms where heterotrophic mode of nutrition is there, those organisms are known as heterotroph. So here we discussed about two modes of nutrition. One is autotrophic nutrition. This type of nutrition is present on those organisms which can synthesize their own food, and second one is heterotrophic nutrition. This type of nutrition is present where the organisms don't synthesize their own food but get food directly और इनडायरेक्टली फ्रॉम प्लांट्स. बट क्या करते हैं, खुद खाना नहीं बनाते, पर प्लांट से या तो डायरेक्टली खाना लेते हैं या इनडायरेक्टली खाना लेते हैं. अब अगर इफ़ यू विल डिस्कस अबाउट द एग्जांपल्स ऑफ मोड्स ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन, इट मीन्स ऑटोट्रोपिक न्यूट्रिशन इज प्रेजेंट मेनली इन ग्रीन प्लांट्स. Autotrophic nutrition is present mainly in green plants, and heterotrophic nutrition is present in you people, in us. In human beings, the mode of nutrition is heterotrophic, and other animals there is also the mode of nutrition that is heterotrophic. Now some students will ask, ma'am, we cook our own food, then we are autotrophs or heterotrophs? बच्चे, we are heterotrophs. We cook our own food, but we don't synthesize our own food. We utilize the plant products in cooking the food and then eat that food. It means if someone is cooking their food, it means they are not autotrophs. They are heterotrophs because they are utilizing the products of some other plants. They are utilizing the product of plants. Is it clear? Now next is photosynthesis. Now move on the main topic, that is nutrition in plants. So here it is clear that in plants the mode of nutrition is autotrophic, and we can say that plants are autotrophs. So by which process plants synthesize their food? By which process plants synthesize their food? So here we will discuss about the process by which plants synthesize their food, and that process is known as photosynthesis. That process is known as photosynthesis. Photo means light, synthesis matlab synthesis. It means Here the synthesis of food take place in the presence of light. It means here the synthesis of food take place in the presence of light. The term came from the term is photosynthesis. It means synthesis of food in the presence of light. So this is the food making process in plants. We will discuss about which things are required for this process and what are the products of this process. So first of all, photosynthesis requires four main things. Photosynthesis requires four main things. First one is, you people know, photo means sunlight. So for this process sunlight is required, but in addition to sunlight there are three more requirements for the photosynthesis to occur. What are these requirements? We will discuss about these requirements now. So next requirement is water. Now water is the next requirement for photosynthesis. It means for the photosynthesis to occur there is the need of water. If water is there, photosynthesis will occur. If water is not there, photosynthesis will not occur. So water plants, first of all I will tell you one important thing. In plants, where is the photosynthesis take place? So all of you should know about this. All of you must have idea about this, that photosynthesis take place in the green part of the plant. And what are the green parts in plants? All of you know mostly the leaves of the plants are green. It means photosynthesis take place mainly in the leaves. And also leaves are known as food factories of plants. For we people, what are food factories? Where the food synthesized are food factories. For plants, food is synthesized in the leaves. That's why leaves are the food factories for plants. So here it is clear that photosynthesis take place in the leaves, but water is the requirement of photosynthesis, from where water is transported to the leaves. So water is absorbed by the roots of the plants and it is transferred to the leaf by the help of stem, by the process conduction. By the conduction, stem transfers the water to the leaves, and in leaf this water is utilized in the photosynthesis process. And third requirement for photosynthesis is carbon dioxide. Third requirement for photosynthesis is carbon dioxide. So you people will ask, from where plants absorb carbon dioxide? So listen one thing carefully. In the leaves of the plants, you can see in picture 1 and 2. In the leaves of the plants, there are small pore-like structure present. These are known as stomata. These are known as stomata, and these pores help in the exchange of gases. It means these pores will responsible for the absorption of CO2. By the help of these pores, CO2 is absorbed by the plants. It means CO2 is transferred inside the leaves by the help of stomata. By the help of stomata. And fourth requirement for photosynthesis is the pigment that impart green color to the leaves. वो pigment जिसकी वजह से leaves का color green होता है, and that pigment is known as chlorophyll. It means one pigment is very important for the plants to carry out photosynthesis. Why? Because this pigment absorbs the sunlight. Because this pigment traps the sunlight. If this pigment will not present in the leaves, it means it will not trap sunlight and photosynthesis will not occur. So there are mainly four things required for the photosynthesis. One is sunlight. Second thing is chlorophyll, which traps sunlight. Third one is water, and fourth one is carbon dioxide. So here we can define photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants prepare their own food by using sunlight, water, carbon dioxide and chlorophyll. It means plants synthesize their own food by utilizing these four things. Now, What is the food of these plants? It means they synthesize food. What is that food? And in addition to that food, is there anything synthesized or not synthesized? There is anything else synthesized or not synthesized? We will discuss about this thing further. But before that, I will discuss about some of the structure of the leaves where photosynthesis take place. So here you can see there is a structure of stomata on the surface of leaves, and you can see two green colored cells in third picture here. These are kidney shaped cells. You can see these kidney shaped cells, and these cells are known as guard cells. These cells are known as guard cells, and they regulate the opening and closing of stomata. They regulate the opening and closing of stomata. In mostly plants, during daytime stomata remains open, and during night time stomata remains closed. So here this is the structure of the leaf by the microscope, where you can see the stomata, and this is the TS section of the leaf, where you can see stomata on the lower surface. There is no stomata on upper surface. There are more stomata on lower surface, and in between there are cells. In between there are cells. So I want to clear this thing also. In plant leaves, the number of stomata are more at lower surface than an upper surface, because upper surface remains directly exposed to sunlight and lower surface don't remain directly exposed to sunlight. So plants want to reduce transpiration. Transpiration is the way through which water evaporates through the leaves, transpired through the leaves. So plants want to reduce transpiration, because if they will transpire, they will require more water to absorb, and if there is lack of availability of water in the soil, they will suffer from drought. Okay. So on the lower surface there are more number of stomata, and on the upper surface there are less number of stomata, and this is due to reduced transpiration. This is for reducing transpiration. Okay, next is here in this third picture, you can see in between there are small cells, and in this small cell there are dot like structure appears. So what are these dot like structures? So here in fourth picture I want to explain you this dot like structure. Here you can also see this dot like structure. This is a single cell of leaf. This is a single cell of leaf, and these dot like structures are chloroplast, and they contain chlorophyll pigment. They contain chlorophyll pigment which traps sunlight. So in the leaves there are cells. In the cells there are chloroplast, and in the chloroplast there is chlorophyll pigment which traps sunlight and help in photosynthesis. Okay, this is the structure of leaf. I hope it's clear to you. So what happens in the process of photosynthesis? In the process of photosynthesis, plant utilize four things. What are those four things? Plant utilize sunlight, chlorophyll pigment, water and carbon dioxide, and synthesize their food. So in the next slide we will discuss about what is the food of plants, what food they synthesize during photosynthesis. So in the process of photosynthesis, the product synthesized is carbohydrate, and in addition to carbohydrate, one gas is released that is very important for you, that is oxygen. So in the process of photosynthesis, carbon dioxide and water are utilized in the presence of sunlight by the chlorophyll pigment, and they synthesize a carbohydrate and oxygen. Mostly this carbohydrate synthesized is glucose molecule. This carbohydrate synthesized is glucose molecule, and many glucose molecules join with each other and form starch. So in the plant's body, food is stored in the form of starch, where multiple glucose units join with each other and form starch, and it gets stored in different parts of plants like stem, root, etc. Okay, so here in this picture it is clear what things are absorbed by the plants and which things are released by the plants. In this picture there is plant that is green in color. It means there is a pigment present, that is chlorophyll. It absorbs sunlight. It also absorbs carbon dioxide from air. What absorb carbon dioxide from air? Stomata in the leaves uptake carbon dioxide from air, and water is absorbed by the roots, which is conducted by the stem and transferred to the leaves, where it is utilized in the process of photosynthesis. And after this complete process of photosynthesis, two things are releasing. One is glucose. Glucose is a carbohydrate, and second thing is oxygen. So in this process, chlorophyll uses the energy from sunlight to prepare food by using water and carbon dioxide. The food prepared is carbohydrate, which is then converted into starch. And during photosynthesis, one important gas is released in the atmosphere, and that gas is oxygen. And you all people know all the living organisms do respiration. It means respiration is present in all the living organisms, and in that particular process of respiration oxygen is required. It means during respiration we uptake oxygen that is released by the plant. It means plant is doing two things. It is uptaking CO2 and reducing the pollution of air, and it is releasing O2 and also reducing the pollution of air. It means I want to clear here two things. One thing is that plants synthesize food, and on this food all the other animals depend. All the other animals depend directly or indirectly. It means these plants synthesize, this process synthesize food for the all living organisms. This process synthesize food for all living organisms. And second thing, this photosynthesis process release oxygen. This photosynthesis process release oxygen utilized by all the organisms during the process of respiration. It means it should be clear that in the process of photosynthesis, both the products are very useful. In the process of photosynthesis, both the products are very useful. If someone will ask you what is the product of photosynthesis, so then you will answer product of photosynthesis is a carbohydrate, that is mainly glucose, that get converted into starch. सिंथेसाइज क्या होता है? ग्लूकोज होता है. मैनी ग्लूकोज यूनिट ज्वाइन टुगेदर एंड फॉर्म ए लार्ज मॉलिक्यूल, मैनी लार्ज मॉलिक्यूल्स स्टार्च. Okay, so this is about the process of photosynthesis. It means plants carry out photosynthesis and synthesize their food. Next thing, you people know cereal plants also synthesize proteins. Cereal plants also synthesize proteins. So it means plants also synthesize proteins. So how this protein synthesis take place? So I want to clear one thing, one important thing, that during photosynthesis protein synthesis don't take place. During photosynthesis protein synthesis doesn't take place. Protein synthesis is different from photosynthesis. What happens in protein synthesis? In protein synthesis, plants utilize the carbohydrate synthesized during the photosynthesis and uptake nitrogen from the soil and synthesize proteins. Okay, so during the process of protein synthesis, what plants do? Plants take Carbohydrates synthesized during the photosynthesis and take nitrogen from the soil and synthesize different proteins. So it means for the synthesis of proteins, one nutrient is required, one mineral is required, and that mineral is nitrogen. That mineral is nitrogen. That is very important, and that is absorbed by plants by the help of roots. If anyone of you belong to the farming background, if they your parents and in your family they do farming, so you should aware about this thing that they use nitrogen fertilizers in the field. What is the use of these nitrogen fertilizers? Because plants roots absorb nitrogen from the soil. Plants root absorb nitrogen from the soil, and this nitrogen is utilized in the synthesis of proteins. This nitrogen is utilized in the process of protein synthesis. But as plants utilize more nitrogen, there is a lack of nitrogen in the soil. To renew this nitrogen in the soil, farmers put nitrogen fertilizers in the soil for completing the requirements of plants, for completing the nitrogen requirement of plant. One more important thing, nitrogen is also converted into absorbable form to the plants by the help of nitrogen fixing bacteria. These bacteria uptake the atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into a form that is suitable for plants. It means that form that is absorbed by the plants. So in the picture 3, you can see that these nitrogen fixing bacteria are present mainly in the roots of leguminous plants. You can see here small nodules. Here the nitrogen fixing bacteria is there, and this nitrogen fixing bacteria convert the nitrogen into plants utilizable form. Plants absorb this nitrogen in soluble form from the soil also. Is it clear? It means nitrogen requirement of the soil or the plants is completed by the nitrogen fertilizers used in the field and the nitrogen fixing bacteria present in the leguminous plants. Leguminous plants matlab the plants contain legumes are leguminous plants. Okay, like all the legumes, all the cereals, peas, etc., these are leguminous plants. And here these nitrogen fixing bacteria, an example of nitrogen fixing bacteria is rhizobium. Here these nitrogen fixing bacteria form nodules in the roots of leguminous plants. They take nutrition from the plants, and in return they provide absorbable form of nitrogen to the plant. Is it clear? So next is other modes of nutrition in plants. It means plants have some other mode of nutrition in addition to autotrophic. Mostly plants are autotrophic, but there are some exceptions which are not autotrophic, they can't synthesize their own food. It means we will discuss about other modes of nutrition here. So in other modes of nutrition, one is parasitic plants. What are parasites? Parasites are those which take nutrition from other. Parasites are those organisms, those plants, those organisms which take the nutrition from other living organisms. It means parasitic plants are those plants which don't have chlorophyll. इनके पास chlorophyll नहीं होता. इसका मतलब they can't synthesize their own food. वो अपना खाना, अगर chlorophyll नहीं होगा तो they can't trap solar energy, and if they can't trap solar light, sunlight, it means they cannot synthesize their own food. So they get their food from other plants. They grow on the surface of other plants and take nutrition from them. And one of the example of parasitic plant you must have seen, Cuscata, that is known as amarbale, and this is stem parasite. It grows on the surface of the stem and it take the nutrition from the stem of the plant. And this plant is parasite. This plant is parasite, and from the plant from which it take food, from the plant from where it take food, that plant is known as host. That plant is known as host. So in picture second and third, you can see this green plant inside is your host plant, from where this yellow colored plant, this thin slender structure yellow colored, that don't contain green pigment, that is chlorophyll, that take nutrition, is a parasitic plant. So green colored plant is host plant, from where this yellow colored plant take nutrition, and this yellow colored plant is parasite and green colored plant is host. And after few days you will see that the host plant will start dying or will die. If the parasite continue its growth, is it continues branching and continue taking nutrition from the host plant. So after some time, after few days, you will see that host plant will die or will dry. Okay, so there are some plants which are also don't synthesize their own food. It means they take their food from some other plants, and in which we will discuss one about that is parasitic plant. Second one is insectivorous plants. So what are insectivorous plants? Insectivorous plants are those which eat insect, which feed on insect. All of you, mostly you people will shock, oh, plants also eat insects. Yes, plants also eat insects. And why these plants eat insect? Because they grow mainly in those areas where is the lack of nutrients, or mainly nitrogen is there. And as these are weeds, it means who will supply nitrogen fertilizers to them? Farmers will supply nitrogen fertilizers to crop. Who will supply nitrogen fertilizers to weeds? It means they complete their requirement by their own, and this requirement they complete by the process, by adopting a mode of nutrition and by killing insect. They kill the insect and take nutrients from them and complete their nitrogen requirement. So these plants are insectivorous plant, and example of this plant is picture plant. Example of this plant is picture plant. In picture 1 and 2, you can see that in picture 1 there is a very finished picture, and at the top of that there is a lid. When the insect enter into it, this lid close, and you can see in picture 2 there are insect. After trapping insect, they release the digestive enzymes in the picture and digest the insect and absorb its nutrients. So what picture plant do? It trap the insect and digest and release the digestive enzymes in the picture. What will picture do? Picture will release digestive enzymes and uptake those nutrients for completing their nutrition requirement. So insectivorous plants are those plants which feed on insects. Example is pitcher plants. The leaf of the pitcher plant is modified into a pitcher. Pitcher क्या होता है? घड़ा. The end of the pitcher has a lid which can open and close. When an insect enters the pitcher, the lid closes. After that, the insect is then digested by the digestive juices inside the pitcher. It means inside this pitcher, plant release digestive juices which digest the insect, and those nutrients are used by the plants for completing their nutrition requirement. Next mode of nutrition. If someone will ask, insectivorous plants are heterotrophs or autotrophs, so you will answer insectivorous plants are partial autotrophs. Insectivorous plants are partial autotrophs. Why? Because some of the food they synthesize their own, but for some of the requirements they depend on insects. How? See, these are lean plants. It means they can synthesize their own food, that is carbohydrate. But for their nitrogen requirement and nutrient requirement, they depend on insects. It means partially they are autotroph and partially they are heterotrophs. It means insectivorous plants are partial autotrophs. Is it clear? Next one is saprotrophs. What are saprotrophs? You have seen mushroom, you have seen fungus growing on the bread. You have seen fungus growth on the bread. You have seen mushroom. These are saprotrophs. It means saprotrophs are those plants, those organisms which don't have chlorophyll. It means if they don't have chlorophyll, they cannot synthesize their own food. It may, okay, so they get their food from dead and decaying organic matter. So this is important thing. Saprotroph take their nutrition from dead and decaying organic matter, and example of these are your fungus, that is mushroom, bread mold, etc. These are saprotrophs. How they take nutrition? They produce digestive juices on the dead and decaying organic matter and convert it into a solution and then absorb the nutrients from the solution. What will they do? They produce digestive juices, and after that on dead and decaying organic matter, and that those digestive juices convert that decaying matter into solution form, and they absorb the nutrients from the solution. It means I want to clear one more thing. Some people will ask, what is the difference between parasite and saprotrophs? See beta, in parasitic interaction, parasite is also living and host is also living. It means the plants growing on another plant. But in saprotrophs, they complete their nutrient requirement. They feed on dead and decaying organic matter. It means in parasite they feed on living matter, and in saprotroph they feed on dead and decaying organic matter. This is the main difference between parasitic plants and saprotrophs. Is it clear? Number 4 thing that is important, that is symbiotic relationship. You have seen that two things. It means some plants live together and share shelter and nutrients. सिम्बायोटिक, शिम मतलब साथ साथ, बायोटिक मतलब लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स. अगर दो लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म साथ साथ रह रहे हैं एंड बोथ ऑफ दैम गेट बेनिफिट, दोनों को क्या मिल रहा है? फ़ायदा मिल रहा है, तो दैट इंट्रैक्शन इज नोन एज सिम्बायोटिक इंट्रैक्शन. एंड एग्जाम्पल ऑफ दैट इंट्रैक्शन is lichens. Lichen is an interaction of alga and a fungus. Algae can synthesize their own food like plants. Algae can synthesize their own food like plants because they contain a pigment that is chlorophyll. So this alga and a fungus live together. Alga provides food to the fungus and fungus will provide inorganic nutrients and water to the alga. It means both of them help each other and both of them get benefit. It means there is the relationship that is symbiotic relationship. One more example from this is rhizobium in the roots of the leguminous plants. We have discussed about nitrogen fixing bacteria in the roots of leguminous plant. That is also a symbiotic interaction. Rhizobium is a nitrogen fixing bacteria. What it do? It will fix nitrogen. It will fix nitrogen and provide nitrogen to the soil, and plants in return provide food to the bacteria and shelter to live. It means it provides space in its roots for bacteria to live there and also provide food to the bacteria. And this rhizobium, this bacteria in return provides nitrogen to the utilizable form of nitrogen to the plants by fixing it. So next topic is we have completely discussed about the modes of nutrition in plants. Mainly there is autotrophic and some other modes of nutrition we have discussed about. So last topic from this is how nutrients are replenished in the soil. It means plants are utilizing nutrients day by day, then how they get replenished in the soil, how they get replenished. So you have to answer this question. So first of all, for replacing the nutrients, you have seen that farmers add manures and fertilizers to the soil. They add manures and fertilizers to the soil to increase nutrients in the soil. Okay, here in picture 1 and 2 you can see that these farmers are adding manures and fertilizers to the soil to increase the nutrients in the soil. The crop will absorb the nutrients, and the growth of the crop and the production of crop will be more. Okay, and the farmer will get benefit. That's why they are using manures and fertilizers in the soil. Second thing is the bacteria, that is we have discussed about nitrogen fixing bacteria rhizobium, which lives in the roots of the leguminous plants. Leguminous plant, it means those plants bears legumes are known as leguminous plants, like grams, peas, beans, etc., and convert nitrogen from air to the soluble form in soil. And you people know plants take this soluble form of nitrogen, and in return the plant provides food and shelter to the bacteria. It means here the nitrogen in the soil is replaced with the help of bacteria. So nitrogen is replaced either by adding manures and fertilizers by the farmers, or by fixing nitrogen by the nitrogen fixing bacteria. Okay, our class of nutrition in plants is over now. Okay, thank you.